Good morning, everybody. This is Merly, and today is Saturday, April the 12th of 2025. And this is something that I am planning on doing all year, like an early morning Saturday garden walkthrough. Now, here we have a table of some cool plant seedlings, Swiss chard, celery. This is a second batch of celery that I'll be planting. There are some damage on the leaves, but I think these celery plants are fine. We have broccoli. They're so ready to go in the ground. And then we have some early cabbage. Early heads are rounded and up to, I can't see, 9 inches. So big cabbages. And then here we have some wandering Jew, our extra petunia seedlings. These are cauliflower, lemon balm. These are the cool weather crops that I seeded, which did not do good. We have some lettuce seedlings in here. There's a bunch of stuff, guys, that are ready to go in the ground. These are June bearing strawberries for another project. Thornless blackberry. I got this from the Amish. And then we have some more thornless blackberries right here. I got 5 in this area. And I'm still trying to decide where to plant these blackberries. So now I'm gonna take you down this path at the side of my garage. We are walking through the garden. I laid some plastic or garden fabric on the path so it'll be easier to access the garden, so you go that way. That's the old garden that I have. And then, okay, let's go back right here. That's just a burn pile. I need to burn that. But I'm not sure if the burn ban was already lifted and we're not supposed to burn stuff during the day. Okay, let's go back in here because I forgot to turn on the water. I actually did. I'm just gonna show you, this is my water source, and I have a splitter here. This one is the one that goes into the garden, and this line is this sprayer. So I still have 2 that are not used, which I will be using for another part of the garden. So let's go back to the back, and I'm gonna take you back to this path. So let's go this way. So this is where the path starts, where there's a garden fabric. I like this better than just walking on the grass, because especially when I go to my garden early in the morning, the grass is wet. And I like wearing flip-flops in the summer. So we're right here. The Shasta daisy, that's really thick. I need to separate this and move some of them to another part of the yard. And these are the strawberries, June bearing strawberries. Look at that. Just gonna show you what's going on in here. See, that is really amazing, very exciting. I think we will probably start harvesting around early May. And then I thought I removed all of the tulips in here, but we actually have a bunch of tulips. And then right there, those are all garlic. Now here, we have a little bit of it planted with garlic. This one, I'm saving the room for something like a vine. I'm thinking cucumbers maybe. And then next, these are sweet onions. But I have a problem in here because look at that. Something has been eating my sweet onions. So this setup is not working. I'll be planting something else in here. These are the red onions. These are all bulbing onions. I actually like this style where I just lay a fabric. Hold on, I'm trying to get this. The onion wasn't able to come out. It's right there. Oh no, this row is garlic, but that row, those are red onions, and whatever is eating my sweet onions does not like the taste of the red onions because it didn't touch it. All right, here let's walk to the end of this garden. That's still empty. This spot was strawberry bed last time. And then let's walk this way. This is a gala apple. We've had this tree since 2021. So yeah, 4 years, and look, flowers. This year actually is the first year that I trimmed all of the apple trees, and it is showing. So it liked the trimming. We get flowers. I moved the blueberries here. So these are blueberries. And then, yeah, there are two types. This is golden delicious. So I also trimmed that. But this one grew like 4 different branches and they were already big. Now, moving on. This little guy is Honeycrisp apple. It's so small because the main plant died when we had a flash freeze, and it grew 4 little branches on the side. So I waited for those branches to get bigger, and it took it 2 years to get this big. I finally removed the other 3 branches. This is raspberry. Another apple tree that I got from one of the apple trees. I think this is golden delicious. Another raspberry transplant. And then here I still have room for more apple trees. So I'm thinking of adding more apple trees in here. I'm actually rooting some apple trees because I don't want to spend any more money on new apple trees. So, and it's actually not that hard to root apple trees. You just take a little branch of an apple tree like this and put it in the water. That's it. And then here, let's go back this way. This is the spot for the greenhouse extension. We have to redo our greenhouse, but work has been so slow in here because we couldn't install the greenhouse when it's too windy, and we've been getting strong winds, big storms. So look at this. Yeah, that's not yet final. We just duct taped it. Anyway, we are growing a few baskets of petunia, and then here We have Wandering Jew with petunia. There's one where like I put petunia and lemon balm. So that's what we have. Hopefully today we'll be able to install the addition to the greenhouse. This is just an open area in here. I still not decided on what to plant in this area, but here I'm gonna show you some cool stuff. Look at that. They're growing. These are purple top turnips. So all purple top turnips in here that I seeded. And then here, it's so sad because an animal came to scratch the top of this planter. It's just a tote, like I think it's like a 25-gallon. And you can see some little stuff growing here. These are beets. Now this, I covered it because whatever animal scratched on top of that tote also tried scratching on this. And these are pak choy cabbage seedlings, which I will move to another part of the garden when they're big enough. But I just couldn't think of anything else to do to put on there. So I just grabbed this thing. It was like an old fountain I created. But anyway, so that, and then just some planters in here that are still waiting for their plants. These are the ones that I am rooting. Yeah, they've been in here for a while. They're still looking good. And then some more apple trees. I'm not gonna plant all of them. That's a lot. I just like after cutting them, I just put them in there. So that now here, this area is so messy. The chicken run needs to be cleaned, but I'm here to show you the grapes. Last year, we actually started getting grapes, but then we were so busy in preparing the new garden that we have neglected this area. So this year I am hoping that we'll be able to work in here and take care of this. Look, the chickens are not yet out. There's one right there. But yeah, grapes in this area. And asparagus. I have harvested a lot from this asparagus bed. And this bed was created in 2021, so 4 years also. Now I'm just letting them fern out now, so they will make more asparagus for me next year. This is an herb bed. The top in here, this is for the water, and I need to put something on top of it for the water, for the birds to be able to drink some water, especially in the summertime. And then we get some sage. This is bachelor's button. And then we get some garlic. So these are just, and the big ones are cilantro. Now here, that's oregano. And look at this oregano here. It's really huge. And this is the area that I have been working on. I have been doing composting in place. I let this area rest last year, and all I did was like dump some extra produce that the chickens couldn't eat. So this is where I worked yesterday. I've created trenches because whenever we get rain in this area, we get so much rain that the garden gets flooded. So that's my way of trapping the rainwater and also protecting the plants from drowning. Oh, this one here, let's see. Yeah, and you can see all of this garden fabric paths. See that? I actually like it. It's easier to access the garden this way. The new strawberries that I planted yesterday, that. And then I have moved, if you have seen my strawberry tower video, which is a really old video, and I have like a salad tower video. This was the tower that I created in one of those videos. It actually still is intact. I have moved this from the other side of the garden. So, but this needs to be amended. You can see that parts of the stackable planters already broken. I hit this with a shovel yesterday. It was an accident. I was cleaning up in here and I accidentally like hit the side. But this can still be used. I will be planting some lettuce in here, maybe some flowers as well. And then going back to the area where I was working yesterday. So this is another mound that I did. So if you want to create raised garden beds but don't have a budget to buy the materials, because it's expensive to create garden beds like those boxes in there. I can't remember how much, but like one piece of wood is like 20 something dollars. So, and you need a lot. And so this is another way to create those garden beds without spending so much money. I mean, it's, yeah, you have to do the work, but I think it's fine. So here we have the corn stalks, some old pumpkins. Those are pumpkins we just dropped. We dropped those pumpkins here last fall. And the soil here is really nice. Look at that. It's a beautiful soil. So we have like compost in this area. So these strawberries will be really good. So, and I have the sprayer here. Wait, I think I forgot to turn on the water for this. I already opened it by the house, but there is another control in here because from that splitter that I showed you earlier in my carport, that's the water goes into this water hose, this one, so that it goes right here, and then I attached it to another splitter. So from the main source of water, I split it into 4, and then I split it into 4 again. But you cannot use all of this at the same time because there's not enough pressure. So now what I'm gonna do is, oh, it's already open. So that's closed as open. So then the water hose is working. And let's go back and grab the sprayer because I need to water the strawberries in the hay bale. These are newly planted, so I'm gonna start by watering this as well. I just use the shower setting for that. These strawberries on this area are ever-bearing, so they're supposed to produce many times in a year. But for this bed, this is just purely for propagation. These strawberries are not gonna produce any berries for me this year. I just need more of these plants because the June bearing variety that I have, although I love those, but they produce only once a year. But I want something that gives me berries all throughout the year. So yeah, we're just watering this for now. And many gardeners wouldn't like this, what I'm doing right now. Pinching off the flowers and the fruit. Because as I've said, my purpose for this bed is just for propagation. So that's why I am removing the fruit and the flowers. Even this tiny one has a little fruit. Oh, and look at this one. And somebody commented on that video that I posted last night that she's already eating berries from her ever-bearing strawberries. Makes sense because look at this one, it's already big. Well, one thing is that here in Zone 7 Kentucky, we've had a really tough winter. It was cold. Usually our winters are mild, but our winter this time was not that nice. I mean, it's probably good for taking care of the bugs. So I'm hoping, because we had a very cold winter, that the stink bugs will not be as persistent this year. Oh, it looks like this one was not planted good yesterday, so I'm just going to, and there, cover the roots again. That's it. And then, yeah, we're taking off some more of these flowers. Yeah, some some new gardeners, they feel bad if they do this, like remove flowers and stuff. But actually, if you do this, you're helping the plant, because these plants were just put in the ground yesterday. They need their energy to be used for growing the roots, not growing the berries. So we are removing all of this berries. Oh, this one's already big. Look at that. This, we're taking that, and now the plants can focus on growing their roots. So they'll be established in here, and then they will make more plants for me. We will be growing some greenhouse strawberries this fall. Okay, let's give it another spray, and I also need to wash my hands. This video is really raw. I am on spring break, that's why I have a lot of time to work in my garden and make gardening videos and take pictures. Okay, I think they're fine in here now. And when I come back, I'll be working in that area, making more beds, because I have a lot of plants that need to go in the ground. I'm sorry. Okay, now I'm taking this water hose towards the new garden. So that's the garden extension that we created last year. And I also have a path that goes into the part of the garden. See, it actually connects the main garden, the water source, and the new garden. So it's pretty cool. So here, I have these strawberries, all June bearing strawberries from the strawberry patch that I showed you earlier. And then those are celery. See? If the celery plants were not eaten by the squirrels, they should have been this big or maybe bigger than this. But as you can see that one looks so tiny. That one looks so tiny. So, and this is a really long row of plants. And the reason why I planted the celery seedlings in here was because of the irrigation line. I was thinking I'm gonna start from this area, because if you look at the water source, and as gardeners we know that water is very important. This is the end of the irrigation line. This is where the water hose is connected, and then the water is distributed in this line and it goes to the other line. There are two zones in this. I'm just gonna show you what they look like while I'm still here. Yeah, this whole area is still pretty much empty and needs to be cleaned, but I'm just showing you the irrigation line. I created this myself. So it stopped right here because they used to be, this area, this one used to be connected to the one over there. But then I noticed that the water goes up to this line only. So like there's not enough pressure to feed all of those plants. So what I did was I just cut this off and created a new zone. So that's my zone 1 right there. And the water hose, my water hoses are green. So I can write on it. So I use a like a black garden marker, and I put like the zone number. And this is zone 2 right here. And this is where I do the other connection to that. You can just twist it off. I just covered it with a grocery bag last year so bugs cannot enter the lines. But yeah, and if you're wondering why I did not connect the water through this end, the reason is that this area is sloped, so that part is higher. And when I connected the water line in this end, it would only go to up to the third distribution line. It couldn't get to the other side. So I decided to, at first I moved it right here in the middle of zone 2. But then it still wouldn't reach all of the plants. So I just experimented on it and I found out that if I put the water connection in this part of the zone 2, then it will distribute water in all of those tubes. I made this irrigation really simple. All of the tubing that I used are 1/2 inch. And then I have this T which connects the main line and the distribution tubing. Because in some cases, people would choose a smaller line for the distribution tube. I think the reason is probably to pressurize it a little bit so that like they can get a good water flow. And that's actually what I used in the old garden where we came from, where the strawberries are. Um, Unfortunately, this new garden is really big and it will be very confusing if I like get 1/2 inch tubing and 1/4 inch tubing, because that's what I did in the old garden. I have the main lines were 1/2 inch and then the distribution lines were 1/4. But this one is really easy because all you have to do is you can buy this emitter from Amazon. They're really cheap, like 10 cents a piece. And then you poke a hole in the tube and then stick this in it. And then once you open the water, it will just water all of your plants. And this is actually the reason why I was able to garden in this area and grow a lot of plants while still having other jobs. Okay, so I'm here now. I'm gonna start watering this strawberries. I don't have a water line in here yet for the hay bale because this is a new garden for me. But this is not gonna be very hard because all I have to do is to tap into that water connection. If it will work, I still have to see if it will work if I add another line for the hay bale garden, because I know the water pressure can feed through the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's 8 distribution lines in that area for zone 1. So I'm not sure if it will still work if I will add another one. The hay bale can be another zone. So, but I'm not worried about that. Actually, my main concern this year is pest control. Pest control is very important because I do not use synthetic chemical sprays on my plants. When I started, I was purely organic, but as soon as I expanded my garden, I started using some non-organic fertilizer. So like I started with also making my own concoction, but for this, um, I can't remember that kind of fertilizer. I know we have like a triple 13. Um, I have used Miracle Grow at one time. I know a lot of people don't like it, but just it's just whatever you like. But I don't use Miracle Grow much. For this garden, this is just compost in the hay bale. Now for that garden in there, I use, because it's this garden is mainly for tomatoes. Um, the we have a tomato fertilizer, so that one is not organic. Look at this one. There's mushrooms. Okay, we got mushrooms in here growing on the hay bale. That's actually a good sign. It's healthy. Hay bale actually has more nutrients than straw bale. The only issue with hay bale is it has a lot of seeds, and so the grass will grow. And here you can see in the next spot, you see that one? We already have some grass that have started growing in here. This area is totally experimental, and the good thing about the hay bale is whenever I'm done with it, I can just move this somewhere else. Put it in my other landscaping project. Or put it in the chicken run. The chickens will like this because this one grows a lot of earthworms. So there are a lot of bugs that the chickens can get from the hay bale. Especially that this hay bale has been standing since, well, it's been in here since last year. Because we use these bales for a fall decoration. At first we created a pyramid with it, and we changed it into so many types. And at one time, we created a pumpkin bowling lane for our business. I was in that area where we had that pumpkin bowling lane. The kids love it. Yeah, we had a spot where people can take pictures, fall pictures. I'm actually thinking of doing the same thing for the spring. So I need to plant some flowers. I'm thinking of keeping it simple, like doing marigold, zinnias, and then let's open this there. And then the extra petunia plants that we have. I got those petunia plants from an Amish auction. It's really pretty cool. Um, the, it was so fun. Like I went in there and they auctioned off a lot of plants. Like I wanted to buy all of them, but of course I can't. Plants are expensive. Um, but yeah, if there's an Amish community in your area, that can be a good source of plants for your garden. I'm not sure if I showed you the rhubarb, but I have a couple of rhubarb seedlings that I got from them as well. And they need to be planted. But I need to find a spot for them. At one time, like, I don't know, 3 or 4 years ago, I planted a rhubarb. Just one piece that I planted. It grew the first year. Unfortunately, it did not come back the next year, and I thought it was dead. I dug it up and it was still alive. It just I was so impatient that like I wanted it to grow back, but I guess it was not ready to grow again, and I dug it up and then I put it back in the dirt, but it it did not grow anymore. Oh, I killed the rhubarb plant. But when you're a gardener, yeah, you'll be able to kill thousands of plants. That's okay. They grow back. Anyway, here, these are a little bit small. I'm not. This guys probably will not produce this year, but that's fine. That one needs nutrient. Look at that. It's so tiny. Some of them are looking good. One thing that you need to remember when you're using straw bale or hay bale is that they easily dry. So like if you plant your strawberries in the ground, they can stay in there longer. But if you plant them in a hay bale like this or a straw bale, um, it's going to, or the plants will need to be watered more often. So I should have planted the strawberries last year, but I was waiting for the hay bales to get seasoned a little bit. And you can season your hay bale or straw bale in just like 10 days to like 2 weeks. But for this, I wanted for the hay bale to just sit on the ground over the winter. So okay, just oh, this water hose is really long too, and it's heavy. Just pulling the water hose in here because I need to be watering the end of this strawberry row. Okay. Like, even just pulling the water hose takes so much time. And I just realized that I have been talking for 37 minutes. But I mean, morning walk in the garden is always fun. It's one of my favorite things to do. Have a cup of coffee and then just walk in the garden. For some reason, gardening is just so fun. Oh, I did not pay attention to the comments. Hello, I'm feeling good. It's cold in here. It is cold, yeah. It is right now 45 degrees Fahrenheit. I'm wearing a jacket, but the sun is out, so see that. It's whenever it's sunny, it feels a bit warmer, but yeah, still, because this, when was that? This morning, the coldest we had was like 37 degrees Fahrenheit. Yeah, that's really cold. It's just a few degrees above freezing. But like celery plants, the cabbage, cauliflower, strawberries, they are cool season crops. So even if it's cold, actually they like the cold. They just don't like the freezing temperatures. So like if it gets to 32 degrees, this the cabbage, broccoli, and cauliflower, and the celery, Swiss chard, those things, they need to be covered. Some of them, depending on the variety, some of them can take a frost. And then, like for example, some cabbage varieties, the early variety, they actually will taste better when it's very cold. But if it's like below freezing, that's gonna be a problem for some of them. The strawberries are cold hardy too. And that's why usually you plant strawberries in the fall. So like plant them in my area, you're supposed to plant strawberries in thinking August or September. The latest is October. But I don't follow the rules. I don't follow the rules. So I plant mine in like January, February, March, April. Or just any time of the year. Just whenever I want to. Well, let's I'm gonna put a lot of water in this end because this end here, um, usually if like I water it, this end does not get a lot of water. Plus, since it's the end piece of the hay bale, it dries out quicker than the others. But as you can see, there's some soil on top of the hay bale because I put some compost on it. That's what's feeding these plants right now. Some of this um, got the triple 13 fertilizer, but mostly whenever I was planting this, I was in a hurry because this project was done in the span of I think a month. I was just so slow in planting. So because I could only plant in the afternoon after work. Now I'm on spring break, but today is Saturday, so I'm gonna go back to work on Monday. Well, I have another a part-time job that I've been working on this year as well, but that one is um, an online class that I'm teaching, so I don't have to commute for that work. But for my full-time job, um, I have to be like out of my house all day. And so we are running a produce stand in that building. We started with a table and an umbrella a couple of years ago, and then it grew into a tent, and then we decided to just go ahead and get a portable building. Yeah, maybe next time I will take you to the produce stand. We don't have much to sell right now. I mean, we have some good stuff from the Amish. People love tomatoes, so we have tomatoes, bunch of tomatoes. We also have some tomatoes from Florida. So the good thing about the garden fabric that I'm using in here is that it lets water soak through it. So because the irrigation is not yet connected for those two lines, what I've been doing is whenever I come here to water the strawberries, I also just water the celery. Let's give them a little bit of water. This area though is still a little bit wet. I'm just giving them just a little drink for now, making it rain on them. This garden will look so beautiful in the summer because that's when everything turns green and we start harvesting our produce. The very far end, I'm not sure if you can see that, that's where we planted okra. And I am still trying to decide if I want to grow okras in the same spot. Usually I move things around except for the strawberries. Well, even the strawberries, I move them around every like 2 to 3 years. Yeah, at one time we had this just one row of strawberries, and so it's one row, one bed. The first year we had like 15 plants. The next year we had, I don't know, hundreds maybe. It grew so much. I'm just trying to go back to this main garden because I need to take the water hose back here to this arch. I like this arch. It's like a grand entrance to the garden. Oh, while I'm here, I'm gonna show you the irrigation system in this part of my garden. Um, this are the half-inch tubing. And then this is what I was talking about earlier, that the distribution lines are different. This is a 1/4 inch and it has its own emitter. So the water comes out from this. I don't have to poke holes into them. But yeah, so far, oh, the chickens are out, but I'm not gonna show you the chicken run right now because it's so messy. I need to clean it up. So, but this area in here, because this is where I stay all the time. This area is where I usually go, because I mean I need to go access the chickens every day. So yeah, today we'll be doing transplanting of the broccoli, cauliflower, cabbage, what else? Celery. So they're gonna go into one of the raised beds in that area. Oh, the lettuce also. Lettuce needs to be in the ground, and that needs to be cleaned. And because today is Saturday, and I will be working in my garden until probably around 3 o'clock. Okay, let's move this. I don't like leaving the water hose on top of the grass, because whenever I do that, the water hose leaves a mark on the grass and it does not look nice. I like gardening, but I also care about the looks of the grass. It does not have to be perfect, but like seeing a line, see that? So it already created a line, and it's only been on that spot for like, I don't know, 10 minutes maybe. So I'm just pulling the water hose now, making sure that they are laying on top of the fabric. That, yeah, this is a lot of work. It has started getting warmer in here, and I haven't had my coffee yet. Anyways, next time, next Saturday, if the weather is nice, hopefully, if it's not raining, that's what I mean. If it's not raining, I'll be out here in my garden again, and I will do a live stream. I'm actually not sure if this live stream, like if the video quality is good or if it's pixelated, because I'm just talking in here and just showing you some stuff. But I'm going to review this video later and see if it looks good. Then I will be able to do a live stream every Saturday morning just to show you an update of the garden. Yeah, I was planning on making like videos on garden walkthrough too, because last year I didn't get to do much video since I was very busy with the new garden. Because last year we created that new garden and it was a lot of work, like putting the covers and then burning holes in the fabric, and I experimented on different ways to burn the fabric, because this fabric is it will fray if you just cut it with scissors. So I bought a propane torch and I torched them, and then I had to make measurements. Yeah, there's some there's some science to this, and a little bit of math, because these holes are 2 feet apart, so that the plants are 2 feet apart, because these holes were designed for tomatoes. These ones in here, they're also 2 feet apart, but if you notice, I staggered them. This is where I planted peppers last year. But for this row, we got trying to think, yeah, 30 plants in each row. And then I started with 16 rows. Like on paper, I said I'm going to make 16 rows. But I think I ended up with like 18 or 19 something. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 17, 17 rows. That's wrong. Or maybe I couldn't see the back. That is a pecan tree. Yeah, we harvest pecans in the fall. Some years, our pecan trees do really good. And we sell some of them, and we eat some of them too. Because we have 3 pecan trees, so we can't eat all of them. And here's one cool stuff that I want to share with you too. This guy is a tomato vine clip, but you can also use this for vining plants. Like these are cucumber plants. I did not prune them very much last year. That was one of the mistakes that I made last year. I didn't prune the cucumbers. They ended up dying. So this year I'll probably do just one row. I bought a lot of cucumber seeds, so I can just replace the plants whenever I need to. Even if we covered the surface, from time to time, weeds can find a way to grow, like this one. Like it's where you put the stake, there's a little hole, and whenever light goes in, there's photosynthesis, and then so the grass can grow. So yeah, everything's still dead in here. These are okras. Look at that. They've just fallen over. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut this down and leave the roots in the ground because that provides organic matter to the soil. One issue that I have with this garden, although it is sloped down, is that parts of it will get flooded. Like especially in this area, it's hard to grow anything. This row is. So I'm gonna make some changes in here. I was thinking of trenching on the side, but then also I'm kind of hesitant to do that because I like the flat ground where I can walk on. It's so easy, and like when I come to harvest at night, it's easy to do it because the ground is flat. Yeah, I don't have to worry about like tripping. And sometimes we have some customers who like to pick from the garden. Although I didn't tell them that we have a U-pick thing going on, but like, so because nobody mans the produce stand, and say if we run out of tomatoes or whatever, peppers, some customers, they come to the garden and pick whatever they need and just leave the payment in the box. So that is fun, and I actually like that. I'm not. I'm just not comfortable with like them coming to the garden because of safety reasons. Although this year we're actually paying for an insurance. So we have a liability insurance for the store. So like when someone trips or anything, an accident happens, we are covered. And that's very important. That's a very good investment. So yeah, I have been really thinking over the winter if I'm gonna just trench this. I know it's a lot of work to trench this because it's like a whole new job for this big garden. It's like I'm gonna start over. Another thing that I was like considering is just to create. I was thinking of creating raised beds using hollow blocks or cinder blocks. But for this whole garden, because I look at Lowe's website and look at the price, and with this whole area and all of the rows that I have to make, if I will use cinder blocks or like hollow blocks for the raised bed in this area, I'm gonna need um, was that close to like 2,000 pieces or something, which will run to at least $3,500 just for the blocks. That's excluding the tax. So that is a lot of money, and I mean $3,500 plus tax. That's a lot of investment to do to put on a garden like this. So and the cheaper option for me is just to cut along this line of the fabric and then just shovel the soil towards the plant line, the plant rows. That one is the cheapest option, and then I can lay cardboard boxes on the path so that there is a like a contrast between the path and the plant rows. So and hopefully if people will come and like harvest their own produce when I am not home, they will see where the path is. I don't know which one. Uh, I'm not sure yet, but yeah, that's definitely something that I need to decide on after I finish working on this garden. This will take a while, probably about 2 weeks for this area. And then that area in there is just flat. I'm not even sure. I have I have so many things that I want to do. I'm just not sure if I can do them. Because starting next week, I will only be able to work in my garden in the afternoon. Actually, not all afternoons. Look at this hostas. Because this one usually I just leave this open unless I need to switch into another thing. One of these days I will show you my fertigation system where this other outlets will be connected to a tube and goes to a tank where I mix up the fertilizer. For some reason, I always forget the name of that fertilizer, my favorite fertilizer. Yeah, in one of my live stream, I'll probably show you what that is. It's still in a tote somewhere in my garage. Okay, we're just walking in here. I'm gonna show you those trees. Those two big trees are pecans, and then this one that's like just straight and really tall, that's persimmon. I'm not a fan of persimmon too, but it's in there. And the birds love persimmon. Now this was my project a couple of years ago. I created a video where I did landscaping, but this one I just put like cardboard boxes in here, and then I got some cheap mulch from Lowe's. See, unfortunately, it didn't last long, and you have to refresh it every year. So that black garden fabric, that's what's gonna go into this area. It's a little bit soft because of the mulch. See, this one does not have a water line, so I also have to create an irrigation line to go to this side of the house. And then here, this is the front. We have some crepe myrtle, I think. Yeah, these are pink. And then oh, this is amazing. Look at that. But oh, this is peonies. Peony or peonies? I don't know how to say that. But I got this like for $1 from Lowe's at one time. Oh no, not Lowe's, Walmart. They're having a like plant clearance. Those are not flowers, those are just weeds. They need to go. These are the grow bags that I installed in here. I was gonna plant some daffodils and tulips in this area, but I think I'll be just planting some zinnias and petunias and marigold here. I just need to fill them up. But I need to pick up some bales of potting soil to go into this area. Now that one in there, that's a work in progress. I've been working on this for years. One time I bought a cheap fabric from garden fabric from Lowe's. And guess what? It let it let the weeds grow through it. This one's a little bit better. I've cut down the shrubs. Those shrubs are really nice, but they're super old, so you cannot shape them anymore. And then, oh, like sometime last year, I was on this Facebook group, and somebody was looking for a fountain. No, a bird. What is that? Like a bird bath. She was looking for a bird bath, and a lady posted this picture, and she said, "Oh, I have one for $50." And then the lady that was looking for a bird bath said that it's too big, and she was like, "Oh, that's too big for my liking. I want something small." And I was like, "Well, if she does not like it, would it be okay if I buy it? Because I've been looking for a fountain, and this is the perfect fountain for me." Like, I felt a connection to the fountain right away. It's not installed yet. I mean, it has like a plug in here, and this is really heavy. It comes in like different parts, so that comes off. Um, but I like it better this way now that it's clean. I just need to drop some mulch to make this look nicer. But yeah, you see this, there's so much work that needs to be done in here. But I will gladly show you a picture or maybe a video of this area when this is done. One thing also, like if you're doing landscaping or if you're using garden fabric in your garden, like if you see something like this one, it's like, it looks like a hill. This is actually, I don't even know what's underneath it. I don't remember cutting anything. It just feels like a big rock that's underneath it. I don't know. I probably have to open this. I don't know what's in there. That's crazy. That might be a snake. I have no idea. But I feel like there's a plant that's trying to grow. There was ivy in here one time. It started crawling to the house. And I don't like, well, I don't know, you've probably seen all those houses that have ivy on their walls. But I'm not a fan of that. Like, I mean, it looks nice, for pictures and stuff. But I'm not a fan of it. So, like, the ivy is growing on the wall. So, I had to clean it up, kill them. I used a pressure washer. I got this like cheap pressure washer from Lowe's for $79, and I pressure washed everything in here because they have started getting really strong and like they were growing so much. Okay, so we're just walking back to the other we're walking around the house. Yeah, lots of landscaping work. Oh, my rose is right there. Well, anyway, guys, that's all for today. Thank you for spending time with me with all of my garden ramblings and garden walkthrough. We're back in this spot where I have the blackberries that need my attention and a couple of rhubarb that I have in the ground. So with that, I want to wish you a very good day today. Hope you have fun in your garden and have a great day. Bye.